Hello and good afternoon from a sunny Newport in South Wales. I guess many of you, like me, have been spending a lot of time on social media, looking at posts on Twitter and on Facebook. One of the things that has most struck me in the last few days was a tweet by an Indian doctor who said, in today's climate, when we're being asked to stay at home, wash our hands regularly, gel our hands, maintain social distancing, well, if you can stay at home, then it means you're rich enough to have a home to stay in. If you can wash your hands, then you're blessed to have clean running water. If you can gel your hands, then you're blessed in being able to afford to buy the gel in the first place. And if you can maintain social distancing, it means that you're probably not living in a very crowded village where self-isolation is almost impossible. As with all the world's tragedies, it tends to be the poorest people who are most affected. It made me think that it's easy for us to focus on the bad news, the tragedies that are happening all around us, and to be overwhelmed by pain and fear, and forget to give thanks for what we actually do have. Because certainly in this country, in the UK, most of us are able to have a home to go to and to wash our hands and to gel our hands when we need to. And it's really important in the context in which we're living in to remember to say thank you and the importance of acknowledging what we have or what we've been given, because all that we have is a gift. And to say thank you means that we perhaps stop taking things for granted, or we stop seeing things as if they are our right. When I was a vicar up in Farnworth in Manchester, I remember being part of a prayer group, and we were looking at different ways of praying and sharing with one another what works for us. And I remember clearly one person saying that she used the tool of a teaspoon, TSP, which is what's used in our cookery books to mean teaspoon. And it helped her to remember that when she said her prayers, it was important to start with T, to start with the thank yous, with the things that we should be grateful for, and then go on to S, supplication, to go on to ask God for the things that we need or the things that we feel He can give us. And then finally to end with P, with praise, praising God for who God is and for what God has done and is doing for us. TSP, thanks, supplication and praise. So all our prayers of asking and pleading with God need to be sandwiched between thanks and praise. And there's plenty to be thankful for. This lovely sunny day, the sounds of birds in the trees, the beauty of the flowers, the glory of God's creation are all gifts to us that we can be thankful for and that can help us to put things in perspective. The fact that we can maintain our personal hygiene to the degree that we're able to in this country is a cause of great thanks that we're able to do that. And the phone calls, the cards, the letters, the fact that we know out there are people who care for us and love us, even if we're stuck alone in our homes. I don't know how many of you listened to Thought for the Day this morning on Radio 4, but Mona Siddiqui was talking about the gift of breath, the fact that the coronavirus is attacking people's breathing and many are having to be put on ventilators to help them do the very natural thing of breathing in and out is something that we take for granted because we do it without thinking. But those struggling, fighting with the coronavirus are having to use ventilators in order to help them to breathe, in order to do those things that usually come most naturally to us. We have plenty to give thanks for, and it's particularly important in these really distressing and worrying and fearful times that we don't stop being grateful for the good things that we have and for the good things that God has given us. I want to leave you with some words from another of Paul's letters, his letter to the Colossians, writing in what we know as chapter 3. He writes, "Let the peace of Christ rule your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Teach and admonish one another in all wisdom, and with gratitude in your hearts sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him."